In the 21st century, the visions of J.C. Nicholas and Walt Disney have come full circle and joined. Neighborhoods are increasingly developments, corporate theme parks. But corporations aren't interested in the messy ebb and flow of humanity. They want stability and predictable rates of return. And although racial discrimination is no longer a policy stated for real estate brokers and developers, racial and social homogeneity are still firmly embedded in America's collective idea of stability. That's what our new landlords are thinking, even if they're not saying it. This is a quote from Some of My Best Friends Are Black: The Strange Story of Integration in America by Tanner Colby. The quote by Tanner Colby represents the disadvantages of owning or renting property for people of color. The most tourist infested cities are mostly the ones with the highest amounts of poverty and homelessness. According to USA Today, Oakland, California is listed as one of the top 10 most dangerous cities in America. The Bay Area is also one of the most expensive areas in America to live throughout. The San Francisco Bay Area is also rated one of the most visited cities throughout the United States. This area has historically significance, diversity, amazing sports teams, and many job opportunities. Kobe's quote signifies how many of these well-known corporations are, placing these attractions in the low-income communities, raising the cost of living. Also, these landlords are choosing to raise the prices of living in these communities because they're more closer to areas of big businesses. Although racial discrimination is frowned upon, it's still alive and well. Throughout American history, people of color have been placed at a disadvantage. We were brought from our homes into slavery, separated from families, emancipated from slavery without reparations or any building blocks, um, targeted, placed in ghetto communities, and many more. According to the video Race, The Power of an Illusion, after the war, there were still people of color who are not allowed to finance a home because it could drop real estate values, which adopted the belief that integrated neighborhoods were considered bad neighborhoods. These red line beliefs introduced the U.S. government and forced people of color out of white neighborhoods. Um, the San Francisco Bay Area is known as the most diverse area throughout the United States. Although there are children in these communities who are not being taught properly, suffering from chronic post traumatic stress syndrome, and surrounded by unhealthy food alternatives. These factors can negatively impact a child's life if not taken seriously. Instead of focusing on the remodeling of public schools in these communities, they're raising the cost of living and investing in sports teams throughout the Bay Area. For example, during the Super Bowl, the San Francisco attempts to clean up the city by removing the homeless during the event. Even though the event was not in San Francisco was the tourist city, and just to make things more visually appealing, they try to clean up the homelessness crisis. Um, these cities have enough money to remove homelessness for a week, but not attempt to permanently minimize or destroy it. By raising the cost of living, they're ultimately pushing out those who cannot afford to pay triple the cost of rent in these areas. I have friends and family members who are on Section 8 housing and are paying over $600 for their apartment. Section 8 housing was created to help individuals pay a portion of their rent, if not the majority. For an individual like myself, an entry level studio may be anywhere between $1,100 and $1,800. In the Bay Area, one cannot afford to pay rent, attend work or school. For me, for example, I am I have a really good paying job. I'm trying to graduate from San Francisco State, and right now I live with my parents and I'm pregnant with my first child. So therefore there's no way for me to move out in the Bay Area and still support a family. No way. Most of the individuals are being forced to move further away, like Concord or Fairfield, to find affordable housing. Although there are maybe opportunities that are further, the commute is still necessary. Most of the job opportunities are placed in these gentrified areas, living, leaving people to choose between living with family and friends and commuting through traffic. Um, this issue is not only an issue in the Bay Area, but also throughout the United States. New York is also an overpopulated city filled with people of color, especially filled with a large amount of homelessness. If we want to create a safe and affordable place for everyone to grow and raise their families, these cities need to work together to find an affordable option for all. My name is Ayana Cruz, and that is my TED Talk.